Okay, we're good. Uh, hey, Logan fam, community, how are y'all? Happy New Year. Really excited to uh, be bringing the Soul Shots portraits of victims of gun violence into 2021 and continuing to have these really important and necessary conversations around ending gun violence. And I'm really excited to be here with Yullio Robbins. To talk a little bit about her story and to continue the conversation around how we end gun violence in our city and in our country. So, hi, Yullio. How are you today?
Hi, how are you? Hello, everybody.
Thank you so much for being here and just being willing to share your story and engage with us. We really appreciate it. Um, so, would you like to share a little bit about your story and how you got involved with Soul Shots?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm Yullio Robbins. I'm the mother of James Walke III, who was murdered February 26th, 23rd, I'm sorry, 2016. And my involvement with Soul Shots, I was referred to them by Obituary Project.
Okay.
So my artist, Ann Hartzell, came to my home. I think that was the month of maybe April or something. And we're like two sisters. I mean, when she walked into the home, my family was here, and it was like a great big like, who is this lady? Coming in here wanting to know, wanting to share James' story. So I shared his story. She did his portrait. Oh my God, beautiful portrait. I'm sure you've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And she put into writing her thoughts and ideas, how she felt about James, just like she had known him from me, his mom,
Mm-hmm.
talking about him. So it's like we welcomed her into our home, and that's where she's remained ever since. We love her very much, very, very dearly. And Soul Shots, they're awesome. They're awesome with all family. You've lost a loved one to gun violence. They reach out to you. They want to come into your home. They just want to help you remember your loved one so the world will never forget them. And they do a beautiful portrait. And like I said, they just put it into writing, and they just get into your soul, your heart, and you
Mm-hmm.
remain friends forever. Like Anne's my friend for life.
Oh, that's
I love
beautiful. That's
her.
amazing.
And just like with the obituary project, Jennifer Lawson, wow, did an awesome story on my son, and we've remained friends. I mean, these people, they when they reach out to us, they know how we're hurting, and they feel what we feel, even though they've never lost a loved one, a child to gun violence, but they know the hurt. They know our everyday struggle.
Mm,
So they just step into our world, and I respect that.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm so happy that there are organizations like Soul Shots and the Obituary Project that are out there that are doing this important work because it is so important to ensure people are remembered, that they're honored, that their lives have meaning and significance. And um, it's just, I think it's just important to that they do that, right, and that people know that there are organizations out there that want to do that kind of work.
People who care. And the shirt I have on today, can you see it?
Oh no, we can't see you.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, it has survivor written in big
Mm,
white letters, my orange t-shirt. And I wear that because I have lived the unimaginable. I am a survivor.
mm.
Losing your child to gun violence, it's like an everyday struggle. You just go through life just trying to get through life because it's really tough. And you think of all the good times, the bad times, and I try not to have hate in my heart for the person that murdered my son,
Mhm.
but I know one day, God will take care of him. And I'm sure he's suffering already because when you take a life, there's no way you can live peacefully. My son had so much life to give. He had two adorable sons, Jameer and Jasir, and he was very active with them. He was active like in the community. He
Mm.
played basketball like half of his life. I don't know if you're familiar with the Philadelphia Athletic League?
Yes, I am. Yep.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, from a teenager, a young kid, he played basketball faithfully. That was his favorite sport. He stayed there for years. And the officer, I'll never forget his name, Officer Irv, he would come and pick James up on Saturdays. I'm talking about his younger years, like maybe 12.
Mhm.
Oh, my son came from a decent home, but all children, some come from homes. I'm not here to put anybody's household down,
Mhm.
but a lot of it has to be like when you're raised. If you weren't raised like the way the next kid is, you're going to feel some type of animosity, and then you're going to reach out and try to hurt that person. So it's like, if I hurt, I'm going to make you hurt. So that's
Mhm.
what I feel is going on with the gun violence. These kids are hurting, and they're hurting much younger at a younger age, because my son was 28 years old.
Mhm.
And that's why I do what I do. I reach out to families, especially moms who've lost their children to gun violence,
Mhm.
because I know the everyday struggle it is to get through. I'm not hearing your child's voice, hearing them say, "Hey, mom, love you, mom." It's just so much that goes through your head every day. And every day seems like day one. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. The day your child was taken from you will always seem like day one. February 23rd, 2016 is like today. But
Mhm.
I push through because I'm a voice for him and so many other families. I go to meetings, I do Zooms, I just try to reach out to parents, and I introduce them to the obituary project and other families. When I reach out, I'll reach out to them about soul shots and tell them
Mhm.
how awesome my artist was, Ann Hartzell. And I said, those artists, they really come into your life. They make you so proud. You feel so proud when you look at that portrait. So that's what I do. I'm more or less like a motivational speaker for families, and that's what I enjoy doing. And I'm also thinking about, well, I'm not thinking about, I'm doing a proposal for the Philadelphia Athletic League. I want to
Mhm.
bring, I want to start bringing like younger kids into the recreational centers and working with them, like basketball or like some of the girls dance or whatever. I just want to be there for the kids now,
Mhm.
helping them out and their moms, because we moms, we need each other.
Absolutely.
And I know that would make my son so proud because he loved the basketball. He really did. And like I said, it just brightens my day. Like right now, speaking with you, I feel really good. I can express my feelings about my son, gun violence, and what I do for other families and other moms who are hurting. So that's what I want to do. I want to reach out to the youths in their households and just try to make life a little easier.
Mhm.
But it'll be tough because all families aren't where I'm at. So I just creep slowly, come into their world and just speak and let them know there are other options. We don't have to sit in the house and grieve. We're going to grieve forever. We just
Mhm.
have to keep pushing and doing something that we know our children would want us to do, because they're not here to do it. We're
Mhm.
their voice. So we're going to push harder, knowing what they will expect of us. And I know my son would say, "Wow, mom, you remembered all of that?" Take them kids to the PAL. It was in Germantown. It was like on the 5300 block of Germantown Avenue.
Okay.
But yeah, but they're closed now because of the COVID.
Mhm.
So that's given me a little bit more time to get my proposal together for them. But I know the officer that, he loved James. He was even at the funeral.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like a couple of the officers came in from the PAL. And also he used to play for Worcester Playground. You ever heard of Germantown and Worcester? Are you from Philly?
So I am. I'm born and raised in North Philly. Uh,
Oh, okay, okay.
I just moved to Germantown.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, that's where I'm going to reach out to my youth at, because I know a lot of those parents. you know, our children grew up together, and they do have younger kids, much younger kids than my James. And that's what I want to do with them, with the community. I just want to be there to bring some light into somebody's life the way that I can. And as far as gun violence has been out of control for years. It just didn't happen in 2000. It's been going on for years. It started back in the 90s.
Mm.
And I know it's no snitching code out in the street, which makes it very tough, very hard for a lot of these murders to be solved. I've been fighting this fight for 4 years. I've done protests, I've hung flyers, I've, you know, spoke at different occasions. I've done so much and I'm not done yet. Even though I'm not done yet. Yeah, I'm starting, like I said, I'm going to do a proposal with the Philadelphia PAL and work with them and also work on my son's case like I've been doing for 4 long years. And we have a video that was released of my son's murderer, but you really can't see his face that well. But if you know a person's body language, you know the person. So I'm claiming that for 2021, there will be justice and I'll have closure, but I will never turn my back on the moms. No families at all. I'm going to do what I'm set out to do. And this is my vision and this is my dream for 2021. I'm not going to sit in the house and fret. I'm just going to keep moving forward like my son would want me to do. And for his 2 children also.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, my heart goes out to the young kids. They're getting these guns from, but you'd be surprised. A lot of the older, they call them the OGs, the old heads. They give these children guns to go out and do the dirty work because they know when they're caught, they won't spend much time in jail because they're all under 18. So that's what's going on. And then you have guns in the household. And I guess quite a few households, and maybe they like having weapons around, but I don't. I don't own one. I don't even want one in my house. That's another big major problem also. Guns in the homes, and guns are so accessible. You know, you can just get them, walk out to the corner, you can get a gun. And like I said, a lot of young kids are hurting. They want money. They want to be peer pressure. It's taking a toll on our youth in Philadelphia. And I also in other cities, but I'm just focusing on Philadelphia right now. I'm not being selfish, but I just can't have my head everywhere. I got to focus home ground where I'm at, where I'm stationed at.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what's going on. And no snitching has to be stopped. But as far as it's going, excuse me, it's never going to end. So we have to keep that fight ourselves. And as far as the police department, they do what they can do. I'm not going to down them or anything. What can they do if the community's not talking? You can't go out and bust somebody in the head. And so we have to take it one day at a time and just pray for better days. You know? And gun violence, and my son's death took a toll on the whole family. Oh my God, I have 6 children. Excuse me. And their lives are still torn upside down. But we try to be strong for each other, and they try to be strong for me, for mom, because you carry a child for 9 months, hear their first movement, their first tooth, their first time they walk. That takes a lot, you know, a lot from you. You remember those good days. And we get together, me and my children and my grandchildren, and we talk about James. Oh my God, like if he was sitting right here. But this is what we do. We're a good group of family. My daughters, and I have one more son. His name's Julius. And we talk about James. I'm like, you wouldn't believe it. It's like every other day we say something about James. Like last night, I had a big dinner for the family Sunday. So they were like, oh my God, if James was here, mommy, he'd be tearing your macaroni up. You know, he loved macaroni and my chicken for some reason. And I said, well, We're going to eat good today for James, and we speak life with him. We don't sit around and cry because they don't want to depress me, because if they go there, I'm there. So we just keep each other uplifted, talking about our James, because we know he did not want to leave here. And I'll never forget that day when he walked out the house, February 23rd. I was in the kitchen and he came downstairs and he says, "Hey, Mom, I'm going up the way." I said, "Okay." I said, "Just be careful." Like I say every day, and I still say it to this day. He said, "Okay, Mom." Then he came back in the kitchen. He said, "You got $1?" he said, he said, "I want to get a couple Lucy's." So I said, "Come on, boy, get this $1." And then he hugged me, kissed me on my cheek, and I said, "Oh, what did I tell you about those wet kisses?" He used to tease me with that.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "I love you." I said, "Okay, love you too, boy." Then all of a sudden, I don't know what it was. He came back in the kitchen, all the way from the front door, came in the kitchen and said, "Mom, I love you, right?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm your favorite girl, right?" And he said, "Always, Mommy, always." And that was it. He said, "Love you, see you later." And I said, "Okay." I said, "I'll see you later too." And that was like maybe 10 o'clock. And 2 o'clock, so when I got the phone call that he was laying in the middle of the street, murdered. So I cannot tell you how I got from West Philadelphia to Temple Hospital, me and my husband. And I drove. I think I was so high, my adrenaline was so high, I just had to get to him. I just had to get to him. And I got to him. But it was, it was too late. But he was a good fighter. They say he fought the good fight for 3 times. They brought him back on 3 different times, trying to keep him. I know that's why I know he didn't want to go. No, because if you have those many bullets in you, those 12 bullets in you, you don't, it's just not something you really live through. But he pulled through because he wanted to come back home to me. Like I said, I was always his favorite girl. So from that day forward, I met Ann Soul Shots, and I love her very much. She's a very good person. And, she just helped me through everything. And forgive me for a minute.
No.
And, because I do get, when I talk about him, I get emotional, but I keep going. I have to let it out or I'll go crazy.
No,
So
that's real. And please, you do not have to apologize at all. These conversations are hard.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for folks to understand that when you take someone's life, not just that person that's you've hurt, right? You have hurt their families, their community, and has ripples over time, right? Like this is not something that it's over 6 months later. It's
right.
6 months life.
It's forever. It's forever. When you hurt a family, especially your mom, like I said earlier, these are our babies. These are our gift from God. God gave us these children. And so for somebody to just take their life for no given reason, and my son's case is unsolved still to this day. I couldn't even begin to tell you who murdered him or why or what. And people often say to me, "You have to forgive the person." I said, "Who the hell can I forgive? I don't even know who did it." I mean, I pray to God, ask for forgiveness, but I can't go up to a person and say, "I forgive you for murdering my son." If we ever go to court, when he's captured, I'm sure he will be captured. That's how much faith I have for 2021. I'm sure, I don't know what I might say, but as of right now, no, it's not in my heart. Because I know my James didn't want to, he wasn't ready to leave here, and I know he wasn't. I know him so well. Yeah, and it's coming up on 5 years in February the 23rd, next month. So I have a birthday coming. Then I have his anniversary. So it's gonna be rough. But like I said, my family, they keep me so uplifted. Thank God for, my support system. And I do support other foundations, throughout the city when they're in need, I go, I Zoom with them, you know, we express our grievances and we agree to disagree on some things, especially when it comes to forgiveness. But I find a lot of murders that are solved.
Mhm.
Sometimes I think the family, they're more lenient and forgiving. But when your murder is unsolved, you just can't lean that way. I
Mhm.
can't lean that way right now.
No, I
And
understand. I understand. There's a closure that's necessary that you don't have right now.
no, I do not. So, like speaking with you, and I was on an awesome Zoom last week, and I felt good about that, you know, discussing our differences about gun policies, gun control. But I can say this much, the city needs to get a tighter grip when people are caught with weapons. They shouldn't get a slap on the wrist and go probation and think they're going to come out and not do the same thing. They will. And that's how it always is. When you look at a person's record, their background record, and they're
Mhm.
out in the street, you're like, why did they let him out? Then people say, oh, the jails are over, the prisons are overcrowded. It doesn't make a difference. When they come out, they're going to do bodily harm. And that's what happens. They do bodily harms to families, like my family.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we just, you know, we go through it together, but I feel good about what I'm going to do with the PAL
Mhm.
and with, you know, with families. And that'll make my son very proud. And it give me something to look forward to
Mhm.
in his honor. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've been doing I've done a few of these interviews, and I am amazed at the strength, the hearts, the love that um, each of you have shown in coming from tragedy. Um,
Yeah.
Everyone that I've talked to is you know, y'all are going out into the community. Y'all are not even just like this conversation, right? But like are intentionally going out and attempting to be agents of change, to see something different and to have something different happen in the world. And I am amazed by your strength, by y'all's strength. Um,
Yeah.
like,
And I just want to make a change like for the next family.
mm,
Like I'll tell you my story and you tell me your story and we're going to get through this together. I don't even have a foundation. I'm not there yet,
mm-hmm,
but I support. I'm very, very supportive of everyone, all the foundations. And I'm on board with the Obituary Project. And what I do, I go out, I don't go out. Philadelphia is small, believe it or not. And when a
oh, I
murder is
believe it. I believe it.
Philadelphia is very small, and when a murder is committed, more than likely, you know that family or family member. And that's how I can relate and
Mm-hmm.
comfort them and tell them about, you know, Jennifer, the Obituary Project, and what I do. And I refer them to her. And I just thank God, you know, that she thought enough of me to ask me to be on her board.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Actually, can you tell us a little bit more about the Obituary Project?
Well,
Just
the Obituary, go ahead.
oh no,
The
I was gonna say
Obituary,
for just for folk who are watching.
oh, okay. The Obituary Project, what they do, they like I said, Philadelphia is small. So half of the murders they already know about, and they reach out to the families through an email, or they reach out to you like they reached out to me through an email and wanted to know if I wanted to come and share my story so it can be heard, you know, and they print it out and it's heard nationwide. It's never forgotten about. Your story will never be forgotten about. And I just thank God they started that program.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been with them for like 4 years. At first, when I got the phone call and they said this is the obituary program, I said, "Oh, I've already written my son's obituary because I didn't know." And they
Mm-hmm.
said, "No, we want to write his story from beginning to end." And that's what they do. And it's really beautiful. It's similar to Soul Shots, but they just get a little bit more involved with gun violence. Soul Shots, they do the portraits, beautiful portraits of your loved one, and share that. And that's how I got involved with them. And they're really awesome. Jennifer's an awesome person. And I refer so many people to the Obituary Project, and I explain to them what they do, how you can, they come into your home. Well, now I don't, because of the COVID, everything has to be done through phone or email. And you share your story and they got you. They have you 100%. Yeah, and I'm very proud with the work they're doing. Both of those organizations, Soul Shots and Obituary Project. Yeah, and I tell you, it's like your heart was stepped on and it hasn't been lifted fully, completely up. I'll never be the same person I was 4 years ago. I never thought I'd be out on the street publicizing, sharing my son's story about his murder, because at one point I couldn't even talk about it. But I don't know. God just crept into my world after I did my after the Obituary Project and Soul Shots. I said, it's time for me to come out and help other families, help another mother feel like her world hasn't ended, because you feel like it's crushed. And, and your support system really, really matters. Now, if I was all alone, oh my God, I don't know what I would do. But family and friends, that's what you need doing this. And that's how it's going to be. 5 years, my 5th year into this. And James was such a charmer. Oh my God. He had the smile. And when Anne was doing his portrait, she called his portrait That Smile. Because in all his pictures, all you see is his beautiful smile. He had such a warm, giving heart. So you can feel that. Sometimes you can just look at a person and just feel, their energy. You can just tell how this person is. You can feel their soul. That's how I am. I can just read a person. And you would have loved him. Oh my God. He was so affectionate, and everybody had to get a kiss and a hug. Everybody. If you ever run across anybody in Germantown, the east side of Germantown, and you say, oh, I met Jane's mother. And they'll say to you, oh my God, he loved his mother to death. And they had that same smile, because they say he smiles like me. Yeah, he had a happy face. He was a happy kid, happy young man. Yeah, walked on his toes when he walked. Yeah, wore his little scullies. Like the day he was murdered, he had on his black scully, had his earphones in, and just walking down the street, listening to his music. It showed that on the video. So he didn't expect to die that day.
Right.
But something tells me it still lingers with me, because when he came back into the kitchen that second time and said, all right, Mom, love you, see you later, it just felt strange. And when I tell people about that spiritual, like a lot of my spiritual friends, they're like, he was saying his goodbyes to you. Yeah. Just from the way he said it. Yeah. And you'd be surprised at his funeral. Like I said, there was some police officers there. Like he went to Germantown High School. Some of the NTAs were there, And that's Al James. I always say my James, and people be like, why you say that? I said, he was my first son. I tried so hard to have a son after 3 daughters. And I said, I got my son. So I always say my James. If you look on my Instagram, my Facebook, you'll see when I mention him, I always say my James, because that's what he is. That's my boy.
Absolutely.
Now, I love my second son too. Don't get that wrong. His name, like I said, Julius. I love him to death. But James was a little different. real affectionate. Like if he walked into this living room now, even though I'm talking to you, he would like nudge me on the arm and like maybe blow me a little kiss, let me know his presence. That's just the type of person he was. And he loved his two sons. Oh my God. 2 days before he was murdered, they were in the living room here. He picked them up from school. On some days they would get out at 1 o'clock, like the early shift.
Yep.
They would sleep here on the sofa. James was in the middle. Jameer and Jasir were on the sofa with him. And my phone was upstairs. And this is the only time I didn't take a picture, because I love pictures. I love pictures. And he loved pictures too. And when they woke up, I said, darn, James, I should have took that picture and I would have blown it up real big for you. And he said, yeah, Mom, why did you do that? I said, I don't know. I was too lazy to go back upstairs. He said, don't worry about it, Mommy. I'm sorry to keep talking about James to you.
Again, you never have to apologize. And that's what this conversation is for. This conversation is to share James with us, right? To share James with all of these folks so they also understand that this violence, like it's actually taking real people away.
Yeah, it does. It destroys a whole family. And I said that day, I said, don't worry, James. I said, I didn't even think to take a picture because he loved pictures. I love pictures, the whole family. We just have that togetherness. Pictures are memories. And I have so many precious memories. When he was born, he weighed 10 pounds and 3 ounces.
Oh, he was big.
He was big and strong. I remember when he was 5, he might have been maybe like 5 months old. And my sister Sandy, she lives in Virginia. She put him down and he fell. She says, oh my God, I forgot he's only 5 months old. He looked like he's 1. If she was here now, she could repeat that same story. That's how big he was. Yeah, he was big and healthy and sweet, but always was like a little mama's boy. I think I kept him close because that was my first son. He was my first son for only like 6 years. So we were like a little close. They used to call him mama's boy, in the neighborhood where we lived at. But everybody adored him. People really loved him. He was a good person. Very good. Always bouncing the basketball. When he would leave the pal, you could hear him coming down Queen Lane. That's the block we lived on. Bouncing his basketball. And I said, how'd it go, James? He said, oh, it was fun, Mom. We had a good time, Then as he grew older, he played basketball for Worcester Playground. They used to call themselves the Wolverines.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he did a little boxing at it's on Wayne Avenue. I can't think of it now. It's had like a couple names, but you probably know what I'm talking about. But he did a little boxing there. He was real active, very active young man. But I'm gonna always honor his memory. I can't be his voice because he's not here to speak for himself, but I know this is what he wants his mother to do. Remember him. And his birthday is coming up in July, but I don't know. You may think I sound a little weird, but I always tell people I can't get beyond 28 years old because that's the only birthday I got to celebrate with him. So as the years come on, I can't recognize them. So I'm always stuck on he's 28 years old. I never had a chance to celebrate another birthday with him. And, people say you have to move on. So if I move on, it's like I'm living a lie because I never did those years with him. So you understand what I'm trying to say? So 28 years old is fine with me and I love it. So when I celebrate, I don't even put an age. I just say, his birthday celebration. I didn't do 32 years with him because he would have been 32, but I don't know what he would have looked like. I know he would have still had the same demeanor, that sweet, kindness.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as his physical form, I don't know. All I
Mm-hmm.
can remember is that big, beautiful, bright, beautiful smile with those beautiful white teeth that everybody loved. Yeah, very affectionate. And I was telling Ann when she was doing his portrait, I said, "Oh my God, if James was here, oh my God, Ann, he would give you 1,000 kisses on your cheek and he would hug you for life." Yeah. And we do, I'm good. I have support, I go out and do flyers. Sometimes Ann goes with me.
Oh, that's
She's
nice.
yeah, she helps me do flyers and we do marches. So I'm good when it comes to my support system. I just miss my son. And and my heart just goes out to other moms like me, like myself, don't know which way to turn.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
we just have each other, it's like a chain group, chain loop, one mom's here, one mom's there, and I'm gonna do what I can do for all of them. And that's why I'm focusing on the youth now, the kids with the basketball, and even James' two sons. I'm gonna get them to get involved with me too. And they love basketball, especially his oldest son, Jameer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's very gifted with his hand, with that shooting that loop. I said he's just like his dad. Yeah. So that's my vision, and that's what I'm gonna do.
That sounds like a beautiful vision to me. Um, and
Or if I talked your head off.
no, not at all. Not even close. Not even close. Um, I nope. I think that vision is amazing. I think it is beautiful. Um, I always ask at the end of the videos, or at the end of the conversations, two questions. One is if there's one thing that you want folk to take away from your story and from this moment, what would that be? And then how can folk reach out to you or get involved with the work that you're doing?
Oh, okay. So from our conversation this last hour, you want to know,
Mhm.
do I want to take anything from it?
Or what's the one thing you want the community to know?
Well, I want the community to know that I'm here, and I know that daily struggle of losing your child to senseless gun violence, because it's everyday struggle for me. But I'm here to want to reach out to me, and we can just push through it together.
And how would people get connected to you?
Okay, on Instagram, my name is Robbins Yullio. It's backwards on Instagram. My last name is first, Robbins, and my first name is last. It's Robbins Yullio on Instagram. And then on Facebook, it's just Yullio Robbins. And both of my pages are open. And I keep them open just in case I pray one day somebody will send me a message
Mm-hmm.
of the murderer, who took my son's life. That's why I keep my page public. And anybody can always reach out to me anytime at night. I'm not a night girl. So like after 10 o'clock, I might be a little sleepy. So all during the day, I'm busy. I mean, I'm here. I'm here. During the day, my phone is open. I'm here. And if you want to send me an email, yuliorobbins@gmail.com, you can reach me that way. And I'm just here and I want to hear your story. And I'm going to work through it with you. And if they have children and, they're getting a little frustrated, the kids aren't acting right, we'll get together. And like I said, we'll try to do something at the PAL. It doesn't have to be in Germantown.
Mm-hmm.
It can be West Philadelphia, South Philadelphia, but I'm more familiar with Germantown because that's where all my children were born and raised. I'm very
Mm-hmm.
familiar with the areas. And I know it's a lot of children up there. But I'm here. And like I said, I'm a survivor and I'm living the unimaginable.
And on that note, I want to thank you so much for being here, for sharing your story with us. Um, I, I, y'all, I mean, every single story, it touches my soul. And I hope that all of you who are watching these interviews, that it's touching your soul too, that it encourages you to put down the guns, because quite frankly, if we keep going, we ain't gonna be none of us left.
Oop.
And and that's not what we want to see. Like, we gotta be better, we gotta do better, and we can do it.
Yes,
So
we
again,
can. We
thank
can
you
do
so much,
better.
Yullio. Thank you so much for being here, and for sharing James with us. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. If you need me in the future, you know how to reach out to me. I'm here.
Absolutely.
If you want me to go with you, share stories, or get on your team, I can do that.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, and just so Logan community, just so you know, we still have the portraits up at the library. But because of COVID, again, I'm sorry, folk don't have access. But as soon as we're able to open up safely, to get for you all to view the portrait exhibit, we will do so, and we will let you know as soon as possible. And again, thank y'all so much for tuning in and for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Have a blessed day
Absolutely.
and put the guns down.